Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now.
Going from employment to unemployment, right? Those are the things that the emergency money helps. It's not the debt. Like, yes, you people are stressed because they have debt, but the thing that gives them peace of mind at sleep at night is if they have the emergency fund, not necessarily that once they get out of debt they'll be, if they get out of debt and they don't have their emergency fund in place, then they'll start use getting debt again,
Well,
right?
they will. And, right now is the opportune time to talk about that. Maybe we're a little bit behind the curve because people are relying on these government subsidies that are just not going to materialize the way that they want. I mean, before the end of the year, they wanted a $600 stimulus. Then it was going to be 2,000. Now they got the 600. Now we want to get 1,400. Now they want to
Yeah.
go to $15 an hour. It's a lot of going back and forth, and people are using those credit cards. They have no choice.
Yeah.
They got to feed their
Yeah.
families. They got to pay their
Right.
utilities. It's not
Right.
all about just shopping, but it's
Yeah.
about survival at this time. And so they don't
Yeah.
know how to negotiate their interest rates. They
Right.
never knew how to budget. Budget has
Right.
always appeared to be a dirty word. But you
Yeah.
are going to walk us through all of that here on the edge. Now, I don't know where my postcard is. Now, girl, I ain't never without my postcard. But we'll find it. Now, let me make sure that I am pronouncing your beautiful name correct. It's Reshma Bhojwani.
Yes. Bhojwani.
Bhojwani.
Yes.
Welcome to On the
Thank
Edge.
you.
I'm so glad to have you here with me and my brains. We're going to talk about money, but this time, brains, we're going to talk about saving your money, having an emergency fund, getting out of debt. Now, Reshma, you have been through a lot. You had told me, and I hope that you are willing to share a little bit of your personal story, because it's very important for people to understand that this is where you were and this is where you are and this is what you've learned. So you were in the tech space for a long time, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I was in IT for 20 plus years, and then I've been IT project manager for the past 8 years.
And then you
Yeah,
ran across one of them ugly bosses, that thought they knew more
yes.
than you did, and they weren't happy because maybe they felt threatened, or who knows, maybe they had to downsize, who knows what the situation was, but you had to exit that space. What did that teach you?
Um, I was, yes, I mean, definitely my ex-boss had some sort of grudge against me or ego or something. But I was, I was happy in a way that I got laid off because I had started my business on the side, but I wasn't giving enough time to it, or I was in my business basically. I mean, I was in my job thinking that I am, um, the security. Like I'm in my comfort zone. I'm getting my um, paycheck. So it was, the fear of leaving the comfort zone and the regular paycheck, because trying to do the business on my own without the paycheck is more risky. And so it taught me that, and I took it as a boon in disguise, and I left. And now, like, people tell me, are you going to look for another job? And I say no,
Mm,
even though I was unemployed and my business is still new, and I'm not like bringing in that much income to, as much as I was in my job, or I'm still to make me real comfortable with how much money I bring in to,
right.
bring food on my table. But I have my emergency fund in
Right.
place, and that is
Absolutely.
what gives me the peace of mind. And that's the thing, when you're prepared for unemployment or a crisis such as the pandemic, it's like nobody ever knows what will happen or what crisis will come. There's always going to be a looming crisis. It's not that after this pandemic there'll never ever be any other
Right.
crisis in the
And
future.
again, that crisis could be your car,
Yes.
water heater could break. Well,
Yes.
what about a spouse? There are so
Yeah.
many people that are dependent on that dual income. They
Yes.
never put anything away for a rainy day. Brains, I
Yeah.
understand. You're trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. I get it. I
Right.
get it. But always tuck something away, even if it's saving your change.
Yeah.
I have a big sparkless water bottle. That sucker was halfway full of change. When I cashed it in, I had $2,300 in change.
Wow.
In change. So,
Yeah.
you throw that in there. Look at things and weigh them. Is this a want or is this a need? Uh,
Correct.
Change your diet. Maybe you don't have filet, maybe you have strip steak. But
Right.
all these things are important. So now you are in the business of really helping people create an emergency fund, not so much of debt, reconciliation, because you're going to get to that. But right now, people, like I said, are using those credit cards. They have to. They
Yes.
have to survive. Okay,
Yes.
so give us a couple great tips as to where to start. We're here. We're in this big kerfuffle. Where
Right.
can we start right now?
Yeah. Like as you were saying, debt, there's good debt and bad debt, right? If you're just going to go on a shopping spree, then that's a wastage of your money that you could use from your credit card for paying bills. Even now, even if people are making less money or are struggling, you can always put away like $1 or $2. As you said, it counts, right? Put away, automate your savings, and put aside. I was putting away $25, and actually I was putting away way more when I was had my job. I was putting away, like, say, $500 a month automated savings, so it was taking away 500. But once I lost my job, I brought it down to $25. And now when I stopped my unemployment, I'm putting away $1. But I'm still want to keep that process of automation. It doesn't matter how much money the automation system is taking away, but every dollar counts. You've got to know how much money you have, and that's the key. In fact, the lesser you have, it's even more important to know exactly how much money you have in hand and how you're allocating it and how you're using it. Because once you tell your money where to go, you are in control. But if you let your money just tell you where to go, that's where the problem starts, and that's where the trouble starts.
You tell them, sister, because money, I tell people all the time, is a vehicle of exchange. And you
Yes.
have to teach it how to work for you
Yes.
instead of you working for it. Okay, so again, you got this automated system. People are putting away. Again, it's a discipline, it's a learning.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
like getting up, making your bed, is like brushing your teeth. It becomes second nature. And when it becomes second nature, then you start to prosper from that. And then you can take that little bit of money and, you know, invest it in your entrepreneurial efforts or in your
Right.
business, or, this is another great idea too, Brains, is learn to have multiple revenue streams. Okay.
Yes.
So many people are out here and it cracks me up when I talk to them on the phone. They talk about, oh, I'm looking for new clients. They are collecting these clients and these people on Facebook like tokens. They never cash in on them. You've got a wealth of information right there at your fingertips. As I was telling Reshma, go in, have some coffee chats with people, tell them what you're doing, see how you can collaborate, see how you can partner. That's another way of cutting expenses. You know, you can both be entrepreneurs or solopreneurs and work in your own lane, but still build a business. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that because you and I have had some great conversations, and you said that it's pretty scary. What are some of the challenges that you are seeing being a newly introduced entrepreneur?
Yes, it is definitely. I've been wanting to do a business since I was a teenager, but um, it's very different when you actually start your business, and there are so many aspects to it, like sales and marketing and social media. I used to keep away from social media like a plague, right? And now the pandemic hit and I have my business and I had to get into social media. And that was a huge fear I kept away from the longest time. People are telling me you need to do Facebook lives. That was scary. It took me 2 months to just psych myself that I need to get on to Facebook live, and eventually I did. In fact, what helped me is one of the postings, and one of the comments was asking me, but how should I do that? And I was like, oh, to help this person I need to explain it to them in Facebook live. And that actually motivated me to actually get there to help somebody solve their problem.
Yes, fear will hold you back. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, definitely. It took me 2 months to get on Facebook live because I was afraid of talking and being on video, especially live. Like, on Zoom, you can record and re record, but live is like whatever comes out of your mouth, it just comes out. But what helped me was um, a person who had a question in my one of my in postings and comments to my posting, and I had to reply to him, like explain to him. So I was like, the best way to do it is through Facebook live to help him and give him his answer and provide him a solution. So that actually motivated me to get on Facebook live because I wanted to help this person and serve. So that's how it happened. And sales doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I cut you off, but sales is important, and what you have to understand before she explains her position, sales is not sleazy. Okay, you're selling every time you introduce yourself, you talk about something, you make an offering to someone. Uh, your personality, your charm, all of that is a sales job. Okay, you're trying to convince someone and provide them with the service, value, options, choices, collaboration. Would you agree with that, Reshma?
Definitely, yeah. I was afraid of sales, and I thought it was sales sleazy, and I want to like just pull sales and not push sales. But there's more to it, and I'm learning as every day. I'm learning more and more. But collaborations, it's not like when you just talk to people. Like opportunities like this to come on this podcast would have never come if I wouldn't have talked to you over the phone, right? So that's one big example of it's not all about sales, there's other things. I got the opportunity to collaborate with another woman on my next book I'm going to be writing.
Mm.
These things are opportunities which are not always just leading to clients, and it's not all about clients. There are a lot of other advantages of
Right.
creating relationship.
It's creating a relationship because that's what people are buying right now. They are
Yes.
investing in emotional capital and relationships. That's
Yes.
exactly what they want. They want heart centered. They want to know that you have walked this walk, that you've
Yes.
been a woman that had a job. Now you're starting an entrepreneurial venture. You're a little bit afraid. These are some of the challenges. This is what people are connecting to right now because they have to shift,
Yes.
the whole mind shift. And, sales, it's not just a sales job. You got to close the deal, brains. You got to get paid. Okay, you can
Yes.
sell all day long, but if you are not getting a return on your investment, you know, and that's fine. You got to market yourself. You got to
Yes.
let people know that you exist because the world now is a big old oyster, and all you have to do is pick a
Yes.
pearl. There's a lot of
Yes.
stuff going on there. You are an accomplished author. Tell us about your first book. Do you have it there with you? I want to see.
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right, put it down just a little bit. It's got a little bit of a glare, and bring it into the camera a little more. There you go.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that. And you can purchase that on Amazon. Tell us a little bit about pandemic
Yeah.
budgeting and finance. That's
Yeah.
right now very timely.
Yes, yes. I got the opportunity to write this book. I had reached out to a publisher because I wanted to write my memoir. That's another lovely story I have, which I can tell you after this book about my two divorces and things like that. But this book, I wanted to write my memoir, and then the pandemic hit, and in fact the publisher reached out to me, which is really uh, not common, and they asked me if I was interested in writing a book on um finances because I'm a money wisdom coach. So I said yes, and that's another thing, you've got to grab the opportunities that come to you without fear, because I had no idea how I'll write a whole finance book, but it just comes to you, and it comes together. And I've written up my story. I've explained through my story of how I got out of my uh, $25,000 debt that I got stuck with during my divorce settlement, because my ex-husband is a financial abuser, a mental abuser, and a narcissist.
Oh, wow.
And
A triple
yeah,
threat, huh?
yes, yeah, it's like the best combination a person could get. And then I was able to get out of that marriage because of my having my emergency fund in place. And that's what I've explained in the book, how I got out of my $25,000, how I created my emergency fund, and how, like, using saving as an automation tool was absolute key. And then as you mentioned before, multiple streams of income helps, and that's one more reason the book will help me, because it'll bring me passive income along with my coaching.
Exactly.
And and I've also got a chapter about a mindset of a millionaire, since everybody wants to be a millionaire.
Well,
And
now millionaires are nothing. People want to be billionaires and trillionaires the way that we're
yes,
spending money right now.
yeah,
But more money, more problems. If you
yes,
do not have the basic principles of money mindset,
yes,
how to save, how to
yes,
invest. Now,
yes,
I tell people to invest all the time. I've been an investor since I was 6 years old. I've been an
mhm.
entrepreneur since I was 5 years old.
Wow,
My parents, and it's not very common in households. I don't care if they're black or white. They do not teach financial literacy.
yes,
My father was stellar at that. You know, he taught me about precious metals and, what it is and, fine art, collectibles. All of these things are investments and they will create a return if you allow them. But teach your children that at an early age. If they get $20 for a gift, 10 of it needs to be put away,
yes,
and 10 of it they can do whatever it is that they want to do with it. You know,
right,
let them understand that money is only as important as the value that you put on it. Because these people is running around the world, not just the United States, around the world, just like money's growing on trees, and they acting just as ignorant. And ignorant means not knowing, and they don't know.
yes,
Different currencies, and people leaving the European Union. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now, so we need to be very conscious of that. You don't have to be paranoid. You can still enjoy your life. Just like you used to save for vacations, you can still
yeah.
do that. You can save for those shoes and you appreciate it a lot more once you save. Don't you agree?
Yes, definitely. It's just about planning, right? Before you leave for a trip, you plan your road trip, you plan the direction, and make sure you have gas in the car and all that. It's the same thing here. You need to plan how you're going to use your money. Even if you, as you said, you want to buy shoes, just plan it and save towards it, and then go buy your shoes. Nobody's saying don't buy it. Just make sure you have a plan for you. Just don't go to the mall window shopping and come back home with $100 worth of shopping
Now,
just because.
I used to be guilty of that. But how I
Right.
broke myself of that is now, well, not now, but when I was shopping, I would get whatever I want and I'd walk around the store and I'd feel it and I'd touch it and I'd go try it on. And if I didn't absolutely love it, you know, I wouldn't buy it. I would leave it right there. And then when I bought it, I would bring it home and I say, okay, I'm going to get 10 or 15 wears out of this immediately. I'm going to different places. People aren't going to see it. I'm going to accessorize. It doesn't matter. I'm
Yes.
going to get my cost per wear. People
Yes.
don't do that. I was going through my closet the other day. I was embarrassed. I found 5 pairs of shoes that have never been worn. And that's wasteful. That's really
Yes.
wasteful. So that lets me know that at that time I was in a psychological, emotional state. I wasn't in a necessity state. And so
Yes.
now we have to shift that mindset to necessity. So I
Yes.
like to do, I'm going to do a couple little random things with you as fun. Let's
Sure.
try to figure out how to make $1 out of 15 cents. Okay. So if a person wanted to just maybe come up with an extra $100 a month, what would be your suggestion? And then I'll give you mine.
I would say like where can they cut down, right? The money to get your $100 without robbing a bank, of course, is like restaurant. If you want to go to a restaurant, you can. I'm not saying don't go to a restaurant, but you can have like a $10 meal versus a $25 meal. Coffee is definitely like you do not need to have coffee in Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. You can make coffee at home. That's one place you can cut down on. Another thing is you should just save first. I would say first, if you save and put aside money, then the rest of the money you can use. Because if you say after the whole month is over, I'll have money saved, or I will save whatever is left over, you'll never have any money left over at all. And things like that.
So mine would be is to have a yard sale. Now,
Okay.
go through all of the things that you have. Brains, now you know. When you
Yes.
die, they're not going to pack all your stuff up in a hearse and take it with you.
Yeah.
Get your things together, but set it up boutique style. That's what I love to do. I put all the shoes together. I put some outfits together. I have free cycle. That's a big draw. You know, things that I can afford to just kind of give away. I have a children's section. I play some music. I have some donuts. I have some
Right.
coffee. You know, if people can do it and they're socially distant, they like that. They come,
Yeah.
you know, they look through your stuff. That's great. Another great thing is to have a book fair. You can have like just a little case or stand in front of your, you know, porch or patio, put
Yes.
free books or put, you know, a cost of a book. And then that way people will be able to, you know, leave a small token and you'd be
Yes.
surprised at what you can get. Now, let me ask you a question about selling your book. Give
Yes.
me a great innovative idea for you selling one of those great books outside of going to Amazon. What could you do?
Yeah, I can do virtual book reading, uh, and we could have like meet on Zoom and have a discussion about my book, or we could, you could ask me any questions, and I could give you some tips and tricks about how to save, or how I got rid of my debt. I could tell you all the stories of how I learned my money habits, and things like that. It will be a um,
So,
interesting session.
right. Well, now, like me, I sold over 16,000 copies of my books right out of the back of my car. I
Yes,
was not going to Amazon. Some of the
yes,
things that I did, one of them was very interesting. I started a book club, and the first
yes,
book they read was mine.
yes,
You have a discussion about your book. You always have your book right next to you. You always show it.
yes,
Where's your book? Let me see. Let me see. That's mine. I just moved my desk. I don't have mine right here. But you always have your book next to you. That is your calling card, brains. If
yes,
people don't know that you have that book, they're not going to purchase it. Also, sell your book. Don't, if you just give your book away, it's a pamphlet.
yeah,
If you sell it, it is a piece of literary work. People have made an investment. They will be sure to read it. So those
yes,
are two great things. What can a person do, Reshma, for free that is fun and exciting that costs no money?
Uh, go for a walk.
Mhm.
Go for hiking, things like that. Like just enjoy the nature. There's so much you can do without having to spend money.
I say do a craft. You've got all these things. Crocheting is coming back at a rampant rate. Go out and work in the garden.
Yeah.
Have a great conversation with your friends. Um,
Yes.
these kind of things are valuable. They reduce your stress. They
Yes.
are engaging, and they don't cost a lot of money. So don't think that, don't let money be your motivator, is what we're trying to say. You have to
Yes.
go deep and you have to think. You got to use your brain here on the edge. Tell my brains a little bit about your offering, what you're doing, and how to purchase a copy of your book. That was fun.
Yes, my book is available on Amazon. Um, so you can go there. There's the soft copy and also the ebook which you can get. And you can go to my website for more information about me. It's www.flourishbizcenter.com, and I'm on Facebook. You can search for me through for Reshma Bhojwani, on LinkedIn also, and I'm on Instagram too. So you can go and check it out. I'm going to be having this the book reading Zoom session that we just mentioned earlier. So I'm going to have that. I'll post on my Facebook for the date and time, and I'd love to see all of you over there. And also, we can talk more about my coaching services. So it'll be fun.
It's going to be fun. See, Brains, she just blossomed. She just blossomed. I mean, she went from a seedling and now she's a stalk. And it's very, very important that you step outside your comfort zone. If it doesn't work, okay, nothing surpasses a failure but a try. And now look at her. She's not on just one social media platform. You can find her all over the planet. I want you to go in, take a look at her book, take a listen to her session, because you can still save. Even though you don't think you have anything, you can cut expenses, you can save. And we want to save you right here on the edge. Thank you so much. Put it down, girl. I want to see the preface. There you go. No, no, no. Put it on the side there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I'm excited, and we're going to have some more conversations because I want you to thrive. I
Yes.
want you to be one of my success stories, that really have turned a dollar into 15 cents here on the edge. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, brains.
Bye. Thank you.